Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Today we're sitting as Hamilton Township Council. Call this meeting to order at 1 o'clock. And we are here with full council members and in the presence of many staff, including our clerk and deputy clerk. First item of business is our land acknowledgement statement. The Township of Hamilton is situated within the traditional territory of the Mississauga, Anishinaabe, and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations. Our work on these lands respectfully acknowledges their resilience and their long-lasting contributions to the area now known as the Township of Hamilton. Next item, prepared motion on the agenda. That the agenda for the council meeting held on November 18th, 2025 be approved. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Mark, seconded by John. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Item 5. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof today? Seeing none, that will be recorded. I don't believe we have any press with us in the audience, and I'm assuming we do not have anyone with us online. So we'll skip to item 8.1, which is a motion to go into public meeting. The motion reads, it is recommended the Council of Corporations of the Township of Hamilton enacts as follows. That the council move into a public meeting under Section 34 of the Planning Act. And I'm having trouble today. Pardon me. The council move into the public meeting under Section 34 of the Planning Act and Section 357 of the Municipal Act at 1:02 p.m. on 2025. Mover in a second, moved by Larry, seconded by Bruce. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Our first item under 8.2 is an application for cancellation, reduction, or refund of taxes under Section 357 1DI of the Municipal Act. It's in respect to 5538 Rice Lake Scenic Drive, Unit 220. Turning to the audience, is there anyone here in support of this application? Is there anyone here opposed to this application? Is there anyone seeking clarification? Seeing none. Nezrent, we've got the report. Is there anything you would like to add to this? Okay, thank you. Our next item is 8.3 regarding rezoning application for 2535 Theater Road being part lot 28, concession 2. Jennifer, are you going to speak to this before we see who's in the audience in support? Thank you.
Through you, Mayor Jib. This is an application for a zoning bylaw amendment, which applies to a property located at 2535 Theater Road and part of Lot 28, Concession 2. This property was subject to a consent application earlier this year that was granted by the Committee of Adjustment on July 8th of this year. It created a 0.6 hectare developed surplus farm dwelling lot. It was conditionally approved. One of the conditions of consent was that the property be rezoned to rural residential for the severed lot, and that the retained lot be rezoned to prohibit residential development on the property because it is in the agricultural designation. There are also some agricultural barns on the proposed or the conditionally approved retained lot, one of which is a livestock barn, and it will have to be rezoned to prohibit the accommodation of livestock because it is within the required MDS setback from the existing house. Now, the applicant has indicated, it was after the consent, but they indicated that they will be demolishing that barn. It hasn't been, at least when I did my site visit the other week, it appeared to still be there. So we're going to include in a special provision in the zoning bylaw to prohibit the livestock barn from accommodating livestock, just in case it isn't demolished in the future. It's not required. The demolition of the barn isn't required as a condition of consent. So the approximately 60-hectare subject property is located in the southwest quadrant of the municipality. As I mentioned, it is designated permanent or agriculture and zoned permanent agriculture in our zoning bylaw. Residential development or lot creation is generally prohibited in the county official plan, the township official plan, and the provincial policy planning statement, except in the cases of a severance of a surplus farm dwelling, in which case the retained parcels have to be rezoned to prohibit residential development. Surrounding land uses are a combination of agricultural properties and rural residential uses. Dalewood Golf Club is located on the west side of Theater Road, and there's a strip of residential development along the north side of Theater Road at just south of Dale Road. There's a dairy farm, including livestock barns. It's located at 7856 Telephone Road. An MDS calculation, it's more than 1.3 kilometers away, so an MDS calculation wasn't required. There's another livestock barn located at 2454 Theater Road, approximately 390 meters from the proposed severed lots. There's a couple of commercial uses along the east side of the subject property on Telephone Road. There's Lang Construction, Ontario Line Clearing, and My Broadcasting Corporation. There's also 2 mobile home communities fronting on Telephone Road that are located approximately 1 kilometer and 420 meters away from the subject property. As I mentioned, the property is located in an agricultural area, and the provincial planning statement generally prohibits severances except in the case of a surplus farm dwelling. This application and the previous consent application were reviewed, and it was determined that they comply with the provincial planning statement, provided the retained parcel is rezoned to prohibit residential development. The property is not located on the Oak Ridges Moraine. The Northumberland County official plan contains policies consistent with the provincial planning statement regarding severances, as does the township's official plan. This zoning bylaw amendment will facilitate the finalization. It's one of the conditions of consent, and it has to be approved in order for them to finalize the consent application. So with this application, the conditionally approved severed lot would be rezoned to the rural residential zone, and the conditionally approved retained lot would be rezoned to the special permanent agriculture 31 zone, which will prohibit future residential development and livestock in the existing livestock barn. And that would be as of the date of approval of the zoning bylaw. The application was circulated to a number of agencies as required. The Ganaraska Region Conservation Authority commented that there is a water course that traverses the property, and that the water course and associated floodplain are regulated by the Conservation Authority. However, with this application, no new residential uses or development will occur within that regulated area. GRCA, they also advise that the severed lands fall within the intake protection zone IPZ 2 and 3, which are associated with municipal drinking water intake for municipality of Port Hope. But again, there's no new development associated. Should there be future development on the property, it will have to be reviewed under the source protection plan, and a Section 59 notice would be required. Hamilton Township Building Department had no objection. Public Works had no objection. Enbridge commented that based on the project materials provided, we have noted the retained parcel named in the application intersects the pipeline assessment area. So if any, that's on the retained parcel, and it's on the northern part of the property. If any development occurs within that area, they'll have to contact Enbridge. Kawartha Pine Ridge District School Board commented that they had no concerns. Ontario Power Generation had no comments, and Northumberland County commented that they have no objections to the proposed application. So the recommendation is that the application be approved, rezoning the conditionally approved severed lot to the rural residential zone, and the conditionally approved retained parcel to the special permanent agricultural 31 zone. The application is consistent with the provincial planning statement, and it maintains the intent of both the County of Northumberland and the Hamilton Township official plans.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I see that Mr. Macklin, owner agent, is with us, and Mr. Macklin will be back to you in just a moment. Is there anyone other than the applicant here in the room with us that's in support of this application? Is there anyone opposed to this application? Is there anyone seeking clarification on this application? Seeing none to all of those three questions. Mr. Macklin, coming back to you, would you like to speak to the application, or would you like us to proceed with committee members here and see if we have any questions for either our staff or yourself? To committee members, council members, any questions? Okay, thank you. Question to our staff in relationship to 8.2. Did we need a motion on that?
The motion will be further on.
It's later on. Okay. All right. 8.4. Motion to rise from public meeting. The motion reads that council rise from a public meeting under Section 34 of the Planning Act and Section 357 of the Municipal Act and reconvene to a regular meeting at council at 1:12 p.m. on November 18th, 2025. Have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Bruce, second by Mark. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 9.1. Zoning bylaw 06-25 for Glenmac Farm, being the Macklin family. Prepared motion reads that the bylaw 2025-37, being a bylaw to amend the comprehensive zoning bylaw 2001-58 for zoning bylaw amendment 06-25, be given first, second, and third reading, and finally passed this 18th day of November 2025. Moved by John, seconded by Larry. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 10.1. Prepared motion in respect to the minutes. And that reads that the minutes of the October 21st, 2025 council meeting and November 14th, 2025 special council meeting be adopted. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Larry, seconded by Bruce. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Committee of the whole, being last week, November 11th. Prepared motion reads that the minutes of the November 11th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting be approved. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Mark, seconded by John. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, committee reports. 12.1. Prepared motion that agenda items of 12.2 to 12.5 of the November 18th, 2025 council meeting agenda be received for information. And we'll get this moved in second, and we'll see if anybody wants to pull anything there to talk about. So could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by John, seconded by Larry. Okay, that gets it on the floor. So is anybody wanting to comment or pull anything on 12.2, 3, 4, or 5? Seeing none. Okay. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. 15.1 under corporate services. It's regarding the Ganaraska Region Conservation Authority operating budget. Prepared motion reads, the council receives report T 2025-21, being the 2026 Ganaraska Region Conservation Authority operating budget for information. And the council directs staff to confirm in writing to the GRCA the township support and approval. And the council provides 2026 pre-operating budget approval for $187,000 for GRCA basic shared levy and specialized township initiatives. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by John, seconded by Bruce. Questions or comments? Seeing none, All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. 15.2, voting methods for the 2026 municipal and school board elections. It's on us already. Prepared motion reads, the council receives report CD 2025-06, use of alternative voting methods, internet and telephone, in the 2026 municipal and school board elections for information, and that staff be directed to bring forward a bylaw for approval authorizing the use of internet and telephone voting methods for the 2026 municipal and school board elections in accordance with Section 42 of the Municipal Elections Act 1996. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Larry, seconded by Mark. Questions or comments? I think it would be appropriate if we provided a comment and confirmation through our clerk that this is the exact same process that we have used in a previous election. Am I correct?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we are excited to be facilitating the 2026 municipal election on October 26th, 2026. And yes, we have used internet and telephone voting since 2014. And I have provided a number of statistics within the report for your information. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you. John, I believe you have a question.
Yes, through you, Mayor Jib. Just ask the clerk, is there going to be any advancement or changes to the act from 1996?
That's a really good question. I would love to answer you through you, Mr. Mayor. To my knowledge, there haven't been any legislative changes to the Elections Act regulations. So 1996 was the year that it was passed. There have been some updates and changes. But again, I don't think there's a planned overhaul or rewrite such as with the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection Privacy Act.
Thank you. Any further questions? Any follow-up, John? Anything from anyone else? Okay, we do have a motion. All those in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. 15.3 on our agenda. User fee updates, building and planning. Prepared motion reads that council receives report T 2025-23, being the 2026 user fee update, building and planning for information. And the council approves the proposed user fees set out in report T 2025-23, being the 2026 user fees update for building and planning. And the township fees and charges bylaw be approved to include 2026 user fees update. Motion, please. Larry. Seconder, John. Any questions or comments? Larry, please.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Just asking staff, Tim Geronimus. Tim, on average, what would the increase impact on a 2,000 square foot house in the township? And knowing that there's a lot of variations to it, but either a percentage increase or how much of an impact is this going to have on new builds?
Through Mayor Jib, for new construction of a 2,200 square foot home, as identified in the schedule, there would be a change of $338 or an increase of 8% from what it was. And that's just a blended rate between construction price index and what the fee study identified that was previously brought to council.
Great, thanks. So these increases are justified to cover our expenses, et cetera. And a lot more in-depth review was done by your staff.
Yes, so we're still working towards that number based on the fee study. This is essentially a little bit of a phased approach, just because some of the categories would have been significant increases based on the study. And this is a more palatable quantity based on that increase. So
I just want to congratulate your staff because this was all done internally and not using an external contractor or our consultant, and I think you did a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thanks.
I have to kind of smile. I appreciate you bringing that idea up that you do it in-house, Mr. Geronimus. Motion's on the floor. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 15.4, applications per 357. This is where I was looking and forgot it was this part of the agenda. Prepared motion reads, it's in respect to, by the way, 5538 Rice Lake Scenic Drive, Unit 220. Prepared motion reads the Council of the Township of Hamilton receives report 2025-22, applications per section 357 of the Municipal Act for refund of property taxes, and the council approves the write-off of property taxes for the total amount of $4,613.34 for June 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2025, tax years of which $2,064.84 is the municipal portion. I have a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Bruce, second by Mark. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 15.5 on our agenda. This is in respect to bylaw enforcement. Draft of administrative monetary penalty system. Short form AMPS. Prepared motion reads the council receives report BLW 2025-03 by law enforcement draft administrative monetary penalty system, and the staff be directed to provide notice of the administrative monetary penalty system policy and bylaw on the municipal website, and further that the following and the notice period bylaw 2025-44 be brought forward for approval at the next regularly scheduled council meeting. Mover and a seconder, put it on the floor. Moved by John, second by Larry. Any questions or comments on this? Larry.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, maybe we could get an update so the public would understand what this means in relationship to what was previously done for parking permits, et cetera, and bylaw infractions.
Sure. Through Mayor Jib. The main intent of this transition into administrative monetary penalties is just to transfer the bylaw disputes from a courtroom to the township using screening and hearing officers. Right now, the way that it's laid out, we'll first introduce it through parkings rather than issuing a Part 2 ticket. We have the ability to go through this process, and any issues that anybody has out in our municipality, they would come to our counter first, where we could try to resolve them. So saves both time for the public in a court kind of appearance, as well as township staff. Down the road, if there's any other opportunities that other departments or even bylaw would like to introduce AMPS for other components and other bylaws, we'd be looking into that and adding costs for the penalties on the schedule. An example being the noise bylaw. So having an ability to put in a penalty versus, again, going to court based on logs with the OPP. So trying to streamline the process, making it easier for public and staff.
Great. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Dronibus? Seeing none. Thank you, Tim. Okay, we have the motion on the floor. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, moving on to 17.1 on our agenda, and it simply reads, there's agenda items of 17.2 to 17.4 of the November 18th, 2025 council meeting agenda be approved. Again, we'll put this on the floor and we'll see if there's anybody who wants to pull in a comment. So motion to receive. Bruce, John, okay. Anyone wish to comment on 17.2, 3, or 4? I didn't catch who was first, but John, go ahead.
long-term service award for the public works professionals. I don't know if this AORS stands for the acronym. I just thought I'd bring that forward to receive long-term service award. Thank you.
I'm not going to stab at what that stands for, but I've been told repeatedly. Anybody help us?
Association of Ontario.
Daphne, please, microphone on.
Association of Ontario Road Supervisors, I think supervisors.
Thank you. The letters and the words do line up, at least. We know that much. Thank you, Daphne.
That's the first part, right, for sure.
Anyone else wish to pull anything from this group? Larry, please.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, 17.3, the OPP budget increase and request for explanation. This is a letter from Trent Hills, and I think we should support this and request also that the OPP Northumberland Detachment come to our council and explain this also. The increases and changes that are going forward with the OPP service fees. It's kind of confusing because I think as our member from the Police Service Board, John, has indicated that there's been, a number of years that these changes have not taken place, and now we're going forward with substantial increases, and I think we deserve the right to hear what that is all about. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. I'll turn to our clerk. Now, we do have a motion on the floor. Can we go ahead and approve it and then make a subsequent motion to invite OPP to a presentation?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, please proceed with the motion that's on the floor and then move a subsequent motion.
Okay. Okay, so John, you have another question? Please, go ahead.
There we are. Thank you. I just want to make sure that to answer Larry's question, OPP will be coming to our municipality and requesting to speak to us about the action plan for 2026 and beyond. And if we want to have the question answered, he'll answer them at that time. I will make aware of this so they can prepare for it and come forward. But I think a lot of this, the up 11% comes from the ministry. He doesn't really have any control over that, but it can be anywhere from 0 to 11%. So I think we're probably looking at around the middle, somewhere on there.
Thank you. And back to our deputy mayor. My mindset here a moment ago was to get a separate motion to invite. Sounds like that's already in a scheduled process. Are we okay with you, Larry, to let it follow through, or would you like to make a second motion after we get this first one approved?
Well, in light of that information, then I would change it to just support the Trent Hills letter, indicating that we take a motion to support that letter going forward. Thank you.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor to receive 17.2 to 17.4. So that's been moved and seconded. Let's get a vote on that. All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, Larry, you would like to make a follow-up motion, please?
Yes, I'd like to take a follow-up motion in support of the letter from Trent Hills Council to the OPP as indicated within the letter. Just a letter of support.
Okay. Do we have a seconder to that motion? Seconded by John. Is there clear enough direction there to follow? Okay. Any questions or comments on that motion? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, 18.1 on our agenda, and that is to amend the 2026 fees and charges for planning and building. Prepared motion reads that bylaw 2025-40 being a bylaw to amend the 2026 fees and charges bylaw for planning, building, and public works be given a first, second, and third reading and finally passed this 18th day of November 2025. Mover and the seconder on this, please. Moved by Mark, seconded by Bruce. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. 18.2. It's regarding the alternative voting methods. That bylaw 2025-41 being a bylaw to authorize and use of alternative voting methods in the 2026 election be given first, second, and third reading and finally passed this 18th day of November 2025. Mover to seconder. Moved by Bruce, seconded by John. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. I believe we can bounce down to item 24.1 being our confirmatory bylaw. And it reads that bylaw 2025-43 being a bylaw to adapt the proceedings of council meeting held on the 18th day of November 2025 and to authorize its execution be given first, second, and third reading and finally passed on the 18th day of November 2025. I have a mover and a seconder. John, Mark. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next item of business is our motion to adjourn. Motion reads that council meeting held on November 18th, 2025 be adjourned at 1:31 p.m. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Mark. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. And thank you, everyone.